This should not be possible. Not at this level. Not against players this good. And yet it keeps happening again and again. Watch closely, and you'll see something that doesn't make sense. The best defenders in the world are in position. They are ready. They know exactly what's coming, and still they fail. This is not just speed, and it's not just skill. It's something happening faster than the human mind can process in real time. That player is Connor McDavid, and what he does on the ice breaks the rules of how hockey is supposed to look. At the highest level of hockey, the gap between players is small. Everyone is fast, everyone is trained, and everyone understands the game deeply. You are not supposed to skate through entire defenses like they don't exist, but McDavid does exactly that. So the real question is no longer whether he is the best player in the NHL, because that part is already clear. The real question is what we are actually watching. Is this just natural talent pushed to the extreme, or is this something completely different that the sport has never fully seen before? To understand that, you have to go back to where it all started, far away from arenas and crowds, to something much quieter and much less impressive on the surface. While most kids were playing casually or passing time, Connor McDavid was doing the same movements again and again for hours. He wasn't trying to look good. He was trying to feel control, building a connection with the puck that most players never fully develop. His father noticed early that this was different. It wasn't just that Connor was better than other kids. It was the way he saw the game. What he had was awareness, sharpened through endless repetition that most players are not willing to go through. By the time he was 13 years old, people had already started calling him Phenom. When he stepped into stronger competition with the Toronto Marlboros, the difference became impossible to ignore. He didn't just perform well, he dominated completely, recording 286 points in 120 games. That is not normal growth for a young player. That is clear separation from everyone else on the ice. At just 15 years old, Connor McDavid was granted exceptional status, a rare path that allows a player to enter major junior hockey earlier than others. This is not given based on hype. It is given when a player is already too advanced for their current level. This is where many young stars struggle, as pressure builds and expectations become overwhelming. But Connor McDavid did not slow down under that pressure. Instead, he continued to improve. By the time Connor McDavid stepped into the Ontario Hockey League, the expectations were already out of control. He wasn't just another top prospect. He was being watched like someone who was supposed to change the game itself. He adapted instantly, and then he did something even more dangerous. He improved at a pace no one expected. In his first season with the Erie Otters, he didn't just survive, he stood out. 66 points as a 15-year-old playing against older. He was controlling the game, reading defenders before they could react, and creating space where there wasn't supposed to be any. It looked like he had more time than everyone else, which in a fast game like hockey should not be possible. At that point, he wasn't just the best player in junior hockey. He was something the system couldn't contain anymore. And that's when the entire hockey world shifted its attention to one moment: the 2015 NHL draft. It wasn't just another draft year. It became known as the McDavid sweepstakes, because whichever team got the first pick wasn't just getting a player, they were getting a future. When the Edmonton Oilers won the lottery, it didn't just change their future, it changed the expectations of the entire league. And that's where the real test was waiting. Because dominating junior hockey is one thing, but the NHL is where hype gets exposed. When Connor McDavid finally entered the NHL, the expectations around him were already massive. He wasn't just another young player trying to find his place. He was being compared to legends before he had even proven himself at the highest level. In just his third NHL game, he scored his first goal. Almost immediately, people began comparing him to Wayne Gretzky, which only added more pressure to a player who had barely started his career. Those comparisons are not just compliments, they are expectations. And expectations at that level can easily become a burden. Then, just as his rookie season was building momentum, everything stopped. A hard collision sent him crashing into boards, and the result was a broken clavicle. Injuries like this don't just affect the body, they disrupt timing, confidence, and development. But when McDavid returned, he didn't look like a player trying to recover. He looked like someone who had picked up exactly where he left off. He attacked the game with the same speed and control, producing 36 points in 32 games after coming back. By the end of the season, he had 48 points in just 45 games, despite missing a large portion of the year. The hype that surrounded him before entering the NHL was not exaggerated. It was real. Before his second season began, he was named captain of the Edmonton Oilers, becoming the youngest captain in NHL history, reaching 100 points and winning major awards like the Art Ross Trophy and the Ted Lindsay Award, establishing himself not just as a rising star, but as the best player in the league. By this point in his career, Connor McDavid had already proven everything an individual player possibly could. He was leading the league in scoring, winning major awards, and putting up numbers that had not been seen in decades. One of the clearest examples of his dominance came when he recorded a 150-point season, something the league had not seen since Mario Lemieux did it in the mid-1990s. With 64 goals and 89 assists, McDavid didn't just lead the league, he separated himself from it. He had reached a point where his greatness was no longer debated, it was accepted. He produced points at a pace that placed him among the greatest playoff performers in NHL history, proving that he could deliver when it mattered most. In hockey, no matter how great an individual is, the legacy is incomplete without a championship. And this is where McDavid's mindset becomes even more important than his skill. He has made it clear that personal awards do not define his goals. The focus is not on trophies or records, but on winning. At this stage, the conversation around him is no longer about whether he is great. That part is already settled. The real question now is whether he can complete the story. Because no matter how dominant he becomes, no matter how many records he breaks, there is one achievement that stands above everything else. And until that is accomplished, his journey remains unfinished. At this stage of his career, Connor McDavid is no longer chasing recognition. That part is already secured. One of the biggest moments that captured this shift came when McDavid reached 1,000 career points. It wasn't just another milestone, it was a statement about consistency, dominance, and longevity. Reaching that number in just over 650 games placed him among the fastest players in NHL history. It confirms that what he is doing is not just great for this era, it stands strong against the best in the history of the sport. And while most players slow down over time, McDavid continues to perform at a level that suggests he may not follow the usual pattern. This is where discipline becomes more important than talent, because staying at the top is harder than reaching it. But McDavid has shown a level of consistency that suggests he is prepared for that challenge. His training, his focus, and his ability to adjust his game continue to keep him ahead. Time affects every player, no matter how great they are. The difference is how a player responds to that change. Some fade out quietly, while others evolve and extend their dominance. Based on everything seen so far, McDavid appears to be in the second group, but no matter how many points he scores or records he breaks, the final judgment of his career will still come down to one thing: championships. And that's what makes this part of his journey so compelling. Because it's no longer just about numbers or highlights. It's about legacy. It's about whether one of the most talented players the sport has ever seen can complete the story in a way that defines true greatness. At this point, try to define Connor McDavid with simple words like great or even generational starts to feel incomplete. Those labels don't fully capture what we're witnessing. Because this is not just a player dominating his era. This is a player changing how the game is played and understood. Every time he steps on the ice, he forces defenders to rethink their positioning, coaches to adjust their systems, and young players around the world to study and imitate his style. His influence is already shaping the future of hockey, even while his own career is still unfolding. What makes his story different is not just the results, but the way those results were built. From quiet hours in a driveway to becoming the center of attention in the NHL, every stage of his journey shows the same pattern: obsession with improvement, attention to detail, and a refusal to settle even after reaching the top. While many players rely on talent alone, McDavid combined that talent with discipline and awareness in a way that created something far more powerful. That is why his game looks different, and that is why it continues to separate him from everyone else. There is also something else that cannot be ignored: the sense that even now, we have not seen his full potential. Most players peak and then slowly decline, but McDavid continues to evolve. Each season adds something new, whether it's better control, smarter decision-making, or an even deeper understanding of the game. That kind of growth at this level is rare, and it suggests that his story is still far from finished. At the same time, the question that has followed him for years still remains. Not about skill, not about records, but about legacy. Because in hockey, greatness is often measured by championships. Names like Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux are remembered not only for what they did individually, but for what they achieved with their teams. For McDavid, that chapter is still being written, and until it's complete, the story will always feel unfinished. But maybe that's what makes this journey so compelling. We are not looking back at a finished career. We are watching it happen in real time. Every game, every season, every moment adds another piece to a legacy that is still taking shape. And that uncertainty, that open ending, is what keeps people watching. Because one day, the story will be complete. The numbers will be final, the achievements will be set, and the debates will settle. But right now, none of that is decided. Right now, We are watching one of the most unique players the sport has ever seen continue to push the limits of what seems possible. And maybe when it's all over, the question won't be whether Connor McDavid